Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to cover email number 2 that I sent to my buyer clients. And briefly what this goes over is, it talks about the criteria for searching the homes, how to find homes on my website that they like, that they want to go set up showings at. I mentioned the consumer advisory form, the seller disclosure that they must be aware of, any things that they want to keep an eye on that they should know ahead of time, all the way up through to scheduling showings. And then the next video is going to be talking about the offer process. So again, feel free to take this video, duplicate it if you want, recreate it, use it for your own clients. And as always, the information like the email that I'm actually walking through on my computer in this video here, if you want it, let me know. We can have a conversation and I can help you out with that. All right, hope you guys enjoy it. Hey, what's going on? Once again, thank you so much for working with us. We super appreciate it, and we look forward to helping you buy your home. Whether it's another property or your very first time buying a house, we provide the same level of service for everyone. So no matter where in the game you are, we've got your back. So this video corresponds to the second email you received, and if you want to scroll along with me, feel free. So you'll see that I have a couple of attachments here for you to look over, and the next steps for you right now is to review and digitally sign the buyer-broker exclusive agreement if you haven't already. If you already signed anything with another agent, please let me know, because I don't overstep other agents and we can definitely straighten some things out. Next is to get me your pre-approval letter if you are financing your home, which you got a list of lenders that I recommended in the first email if you haven't already picked a lender. This step is very important because I don't view any properties until I have your pre-approval letter, and as long as it's not expired, you should be good to go. As a side note, if you're not getting any of these emails from us, be sure to check your junk or your spam folder, because sometimes they end up in there. Next, I put a link to my website for you to create your own account and your own criteria in there. So that will help you out a lot. And the reason I highly recommend using my website as opposed to like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com or any of that is because all those websites are actually pretty delayed compared to the MLS listings. So there's a lot of properties that the clients will send me saying, hey, I really want to see this house. And then when I go look into it to set up a showing, I find out it's already under contract, because that, when they've seen it online, has actually been a little bit delayed. So the most updated information you can get is from an agent's website like mine, because it's tied directly to the MLS. So as soon as the property hits the market, it gets sent directly to my website. Now you should review the buyer advisory. I like to send this to my clients way early in advance, so that way they have time to understand the necessary precautions to take throughout the process. Buying a home is likely to be one of the biggest transactions that you'll ever do in your life, so you want to make sure you're covering all your bases and you're just the most educated as you can be about the process. Here are a few links that I've included for you to look things up, like crime stats, school rankings, the quality of neighborhoods, all kinds of things like that. Because as a realtor, it's actually illegal for us to tell you whether or not the schools are good, if an area is safe, what have you, anything like that. Because those things are debatable, and it's ultimately up to the buyer to decide on whether or not they want to live in an area. So if you want, you can check out some of these links. All right, now let's talk about viewing homes. This is probably like what you've been waiting for, right? I mean, you're probably wondering, come on, let's just start looking at some homes. So as soon as you have your pre-approval letter and you know what your budget is, we can then schedule some showings. Once you found a home or several homes that meet your criteria, so your wants, your needs, and your deal breakers, remember to refer back to the color-coded chart in the first email, because these things oftentimes change throughout time. So if you really like a home but you don't feel safe, or you already know it's too far away from work or fun things, then there's no point in scheduling a showing. So don't waste your own time by looking at homes that don't meet your criteria. I highly suggest driving by the house first and checking out the area if it's close by, to make sure that you like the yard or the location or whatever it is about that house. And if you're not residing here, you're going to be purchasing a home from afar, then I suggest scouting out the area on Google Maps. So take some time to think about all that. Do your own research on the crime and anything else that's important to you. And once you have that list, just email it over to me and I'll start to do my own research. I'll be looking over the agent notes because sometimes there's actually quite a few and then they can end up filtering out that property. For example, sometimes the agents will say this home is only acceptable for a cash offer or it's sold as is or something along those lines. So I'll let you know of any important notes that come up that might disqualify the property for us. After I do that, and if it's still good to go, then I'm going to start looking into the documents. So some of these are the seller property disclosure statement that shows everything that's wrong with the property that the seller knows of. And sometimes there might be something more that the seller doesn't know of, and therefore cannot disclose, and this is why we hire a home inspector to find these things out. Sometimes the seller discloses a lot of stuff, like if there's mold issues, any asbestos, foundation issues, anything like that. So if you're an investor or you're okay with that, then awesome, we're still good to go. But if not, these things can be a deal breaker. So it's nice to find out all this information before we spend our time going to view the property. So if you're in town, then obviously you'll be there to view it as well. But if you're not, then no problem. So we can either FaceTime each other or I can just take a video and send it to you afterwards. This way you can then refer back to it, you can pause it, and you can just check back and find things that you might not have noticed the first time around. The next step is to make an offer once we found a home that you like that fits your criteria, and I'll be going over this in the later email and video. So again, for now, just look over this information. We're super excited to be working with you, and take care.